All right, let's jump right in. We're going to talk about something that feels like it's been pulled straight out of a sci-fi movie, but it's actually happening right now, and it's changing medicine as we know it. Today, we're breaking down digital twins in healthcare. I mean, really stop and think about that for a second. What if there was a perfect digital replica of you, all your biology, all your data, tucked away in a computer? And this is the incredible part. It's not just some static 3D model. It's more like a flight simulator for your body. A place where doctors could test a new drug or predict how a disease might progress, all in a totally risk-free environment, to find out exactly what works for you. So, how on earth does this all work? First, let's get a handle on what this whole U 2.0 promise is really about. Okay, so here's the official definition, but the words you really need to focus on are continuously updated with real-time data. That's the secret sauce. This twin isn't a snapshot in time. It's a living, breathing model that changes right along with you. And that brings us to a really key distinction. People hear this and think, oh, it's just a computer simulation. But it's so much more. A simulation is kind of like a photograph. It's static. A digital twin? That's a live video feed with a two-way connection. The twin learns from you, and in return, it can predict what's going to happen next. It's an intelligent partner, not just a passive copy. All right, so if we know what it is, the next big question is, how do you actually build one? I mean, where does all this data even come from?
It breaks down into a pretty logical three-step process. First, you have to gather up all the raw ingredients, all that data about a person. Then you've got to integrate it, make all those different pieces talk to each other in one smart model. And then, and only then, you get to the magic part, using it to simulate and predict the future.
And when we say data, we mean a torrent of data. Seriously, look at this list. It's not just the stuff in your doctor's files, it's your Fitbit data, your genetic code, your lab results, and it's even things like the air quality or pollen count where you live. It all gets poured into the model to create a picture of your health that is unbelievably comprehensive. Okay, enough with the theory. This is the really exciting part. Let's look at how this is being used in the real world, right now, to actually change people's lives. This quote just nails the problem, doesn't it? For so long, medicine has been based on what works for the average person. But nobody is truly average. Our bodies are all unique, and that's especially true when we're talking about chronic diseases. So let's take one of the biggest health crises on the planet, type 2 diabetes. A clinical trial decided to put a digital twin to the ultimate test to see if it could crack that one-size-fits-all problem. The results were, well, they were mind-blowing. After just 1 year, almost 73% of the people using a digital twin went into full remission from type 2 diabetes. We're talking blood sugar back to normal, no more medication. To put that in perspective, with standard care, remission rates are lucky to hit the single digits. This is a total game changer. So how'd they do it? It's actually brilliantly simple. The AI learned how each person's body reacted to specific foods. Then, it gave them super easy, personalized advice. Hey, for you, this food is green, go for it. This one's orange, maybe take it easy. And this one's red, it's gonna spike your blood sugar. It's precision healthcare delivered right to your phone. And this incredible personalization isn't just for diabetes. They're applying the exact same idea to cardiology with something called the Twin Cardio Framework. The goal here is to create a living digital copy of a patient's heart. Think about this. By feeding it data from things like wearable ultrasound patches, the digital twin can spot the early warning signs of these really serious conditions. A weak heart muscle, an irregular heartbeat, and it allows doctors to step in before a heart attack or another crisis can even happen. It's proactive, not reactive. It's not just about what's going on inside our bodies either. Digital twins are also completely changing things like physical therapy. Let's say you've injured your arm and you're in rehab. So instead of a therapist just asking, how does that feel? They can see your progress with objective data. A healthy arm movement traces this perfect, smooth sinusoidal wave on the screen. But a recovering, injured motion, it's going to look jagged and messy. This gives the therapist exact data to fine-tune your exercises for a way faster, better recovery. Now, as incredible as all this sounds, we have to be realistic. Rolling this out for everybody isn't going to happen overnight. There are some pretty major hurdles we still need to clear. And here are the big ones. Just getting all that data we talked about to play nice together is a huge technical puzzle. It takes a ton of computing power, which costs money. And then there's the biggest issue of all, security and privacy. We're talking about the most sensitive data imaginable, so protecting it under laws like HIPAA and GDPR is absolutely non-negotiable. And this quote right here, It really brings home just how high the stakes are. If these systems are one day controlling things like pacemakers or insulin pumps, a security breach isn't just about stolen data. It's literally a matter of life and death. The security has to be perfect. But even with all those challenges, let's not lose sight of the crucial point here. This isn't some far-off dream. It's not science fiction. It is already here, and it is already saving lives and delivering results that were unthinkable just a few years ago. Which leaves us with one final, kind of a wild thought to chew on. Every time you track a workout, get a blood test, or even just walk around with your phone, you're adding a tiny piece to this puzzle. Your digital twin is being built, whether you realize it or not, one data point at a time. And so the real question isn't if this is coming, but what happens when it's here? What will it mean when a machine knows you, biologically, even better than you know yourself?